David Hogg is making news, and it's not the good kind of news. So David Hogg, if you don't know his name, is the 25-year-old vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. He came to prominence in a really unfortunate way. He was one of the students at Parkland High School in that school shooting where a number of his classmates were killed. He became a very high-profile advocate for gun control, and he sort of has moved from that space into the broader space, and he was elected earlier this year as vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, which is a big job. I mean, it's not the chairman, but it's a big job, particularly for someone who's 25 years old. So the New York Times reported on Tuesday night that Hogg, in addition to being the chair of the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee, is also the president of an organization called Leaders We Deserve. Leaders We Deserve stated goal is to go after older Democrats in solidly Democratic districts, Democratic incumbents in solidly Democratic districts, to try to beat them with younger people, and they're going to spend $20 million on that effort. Hogg, to his credit, in an interview with the New York Times, admitted the weirdness of this. This is what he said. "This is going to anger a lot of people," Mr. Hogg said of his efforts. He predicted a, quote, smear campaign against me that would aim to, quote, destroy my reputation and try to force me to stop doing this. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's a smear campaign, but I will say that if you are an elected leader of the Democratic Party, it is more than passing odd that you would also be the leader of an effort to beat Democratic incumbents with millions of dollars behind it. So this is, look, in a lot of ways, I don't think Hogg is wrong in that I think there are a lot of older Democrats who are just kind of dining out on incumbency, I always think robust primaries are a good thing for parties and a good thing for democracy. The problem is, if you're doing that and you're also one of the leaders of the main Democratic National Committee party, that's sort of a problem. Those two things don't work together. The DNC, as well as the other party committees, are aimed at helping to re-elect Democratic incumbents. Yes, elect more Democrats generally, but their first job always is make sure you keep the people you have. I will guarantee you, having spent a lot of time in politics and political journalism, this will not go over well with Democratic incumbents. They will say, why are we spending our time, and why is this guy who's part of allegedly on our team, why is he spending money to beat us when we should be spending money against Republicans? And I think that's probably a pretty potentially tough argument for Hogg to overcome. Look, he is a very unorthodox candidate to become the vice chair of the Democratic National Committee. Republicans rejoiced when this happened because they thought he was way too liberal, way too sort of out of touch with mainstream America, and would say and do things that would disrupt the Democratic Party. Well, this is one of those things. It is very hard to do two things at once. Both focus your time on beating Democratic incumbents and focus your time on redefining the Democratic Party so that you can beat Republicans. And I guarantee you Democratic members of Congress are not going to be happy about this. I think there will be some calls for Hogg to give up one of the two of those jobs, either the beat Democratic's incumbents job or the DNC job. Don't know if it'll happen. But again, I think this speaks to a broader issue. This is not just about David Hogg. This is about the Democratic Party and what they do next, right? Do they need a youth movement? Do they need to clear out their ranks of what some people would call the dead wood? Or do they need to say, look, we need to focus all of our time and energy not on Democrats, but on Republicans? And I don't know that you can do both of those things at the same time. Hogg is trying to do that. I think it's a major challenge that probably won't work. I think something's got to give in there. As always, I ask you to subscribe. Just hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's easy. It helps me. It helps me reach more people. It helps me keep doing this. So subscribe. Thanks, everybody. Take care.